The reality of San Francisco's sit-lie initiatives is that despite the good but Herculean intention of culling those deemed to be city folks that inhabit the streets from those who may just be hanging out, is that even if city officials work out a strong framework for enforcement, by nature the law remains incredibly unwieldy. Sit-lie would allow enforcement to move along people who are either sitting or lying on public ground within city limits. Of course, the ordinance has not so far been worked out to include your afternoon sunbathing in Dolores Park. While this in itself presents a significant conundrum for enforcement, the greater problem lies in enforcement on the whole, rather than the selective nature of where, when, and how police could carry out the procedure of the proposed ordinance.
As a native San Franciscan, I can definitely relate to people who are frustrated with the homeless problem, but as a fat man trying to walk around this damn city, I could definitely relate to people who want to sit down for a little while. I mean, it would be enforceable as long as the cops were there, and then as soon as they left, they'd be sitting down again. So it's not really very practical unless you're going to have a constant police presence.
While the ordinance is particularly aimed at the homeless community, everyday street dwellers such as buskers technically fall into the ordinance nuisance parameters. And what about groups of truant school kids or resting tourists, regardless of their degree of scruffiness? Business owners along Haight Street, the flashpoint of this debate, are pretty well divided on the issue. However, there is one thing they can largely agree on. Any reduction of drunks in the street and panhandlers on the sidewalk is a good, positive one for the neighborhood.
Well, I think sit-lie law would be enforceable because as a law, like they give police the tools they need to enforce it. But how it would be enforced, I think a lot of people are worried that normal people will be prevented from sitting on the sidewalk, but they're really only going to use it if some bum is passed out drunk in a pile of his own puke. The homeless people, they make a mess, and there's literally excrement everywhere, and that's what they want to get rid of with the law.
While business owners and residents alike both have a vested interest in sit-lie, the chances of it coming to full enforcement are slim to nil. Because the ordinance's nature full of logistical gray areas, enforcement, therefore, is completely unwieldy. As sit-lie dialogues and demonstrations continue throughout the city, this debate continues to permeate the layered, often confusing strata of San Francisco politics.